Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. We're going to give everybody a minute to log on and then we'll get started. Great. I think we can go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the How to Get Involved in Cybersecurity Awareness Month webinar. For today, we're going to take an in-depth dive into Cybersecurity Awareness Month 2022, a campaign coming up this October. We'll provide an overview of the campaign and share some tips and advice for launching your own initiatives. Before we get started, please note that this webinar is being recorded. It will be available on StaySafeOnline.org by tomorrow, and the slides will be available to download as well. If you have questions at any time during this presentation, please feel free to submit them to the questions box. We'll try to answer as many questions as we can at the end of the presentation. And if we can't get to it, we'll provide our contact information at the end as well. So if you have any questions, you can always email us. So my name is Jennifer Cook. I'm the Senior Director of Marketing at the National Cybersecurity Alliance, and I'm joined today by Mr. Trent Frazier, the Deputy Assistant Director of the Stakeholder Engagement Division at CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. The National Cybersecurity Alliance and CISA have been longtime partners on Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and we're excited to come together today to present this year's campaign. So the National Cybersecurity Alliance is a nonprofit organization on a mission to create a more secure, interconnected world. We advocate for the safe use of all technology and educate everyone on how best to protect themselves, their families, and organizations from cybercrime. We also create strong partnerships between government and industry to amplify these messages and to foster a greater digital good. In addition to Cybersecurity Awareness Month, our core efforts include Data Privacy Week, formerly Data Privacy Day, which is a campaign during the last week of January each year to educate individuals and businesses on the importance of online privacy and managing your data. We also have Cybersecure My Business, a national program helping small and medium-sized businesses learn to be safer and more secure online. The program consists of a series of workshops and webinars based on the NIST cybersecurity framework. We're also getting ready to launch an exciting new program. Our HBCU Career and Mentorship Program this fall will host events at historically Black colleges and universities across the country, talking about career opportunities in cyber and connecting students with mentors to help them get started on their career path. And now I'll turn it over to Deputy Assistant Director Frazier to introduce you to CISA.
Thanks, Jen, and thanks for the opportunity to partner again with the National Cybersecurity Alliance on the rollout of the 2022 Cybersecurity Awareness Month campaign. We are very excited to continue in this partnership and look forward to a very successful campaign again this year. As Jen mentioned, my name is Trent Frazier. I'm the Deputy Assistant Director for Engagement with CISA, or CISA, depending on how you hear our name pronounced, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. We are often couched as the nation's risk advisor, but really we are more than that. We are a partner agency who are very focused on ensuring that we are working collaboratively with our public and private sector partners to build resiliency across our nation's infrastructure. You know, the threats we face today, whether digital or physical, man-made, technological, or natural, are just growing more complex, and the threat actor is more diverse than at any point in our nation's history. And CISA is at the heart of mobilizing our collective defense as we lead the nation's efforts to understand and manage risk to our critical infrastructure. CISA builds the national capacity to defend against cyber attacks and works with federal government partners to provide cybersecurity tools, response resources and services, and assessment capabilities to help safeguard the .gov networks that support essential operations for partner agencies and departments. We also coordinate security and resilience efforts towards using trusted partnerships for both public and private sector, and deliver technical assistance and assessments where needed to our federal stakeholders, as well as to critical infrastructure owners and operators throughout the country. Working with stakeholders across the country, CISA conducts extensive nationwide outreach to support and promote the ability of emergency response providers and relevant government officials to continue to communicate in the event of a natural disaster, act of terrorism, or other man-made incident. CISA leads the Cybersecurity Awareness Month efforts in partnership with NCA and to increase awareness of cybersecurity threats to the U.S. national government and our critical infrastructure owners, operators, private sector, industry partners, and the public sector throughout the country. I want to turn it back to Jen briefly to talk more about what we're looking towards for this year's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And again, appreciate the opportunity to be here today. Thanks, Jen.
Great, thank you. So let's get into Cybersecurity Awareness Month. I am actually going to see if I can launch a poll here. Just so we can get to know if this is your first time participating in Cybersecurity Awareness Month, or if you've participated before. In case this is your first time, Cybersecurity Awareness Month every October is a collaborative effort between government and industry to raise awareness about the importance of cybersecurity, seeking to ensure that everyone has the resources they need to be safer and more secure online. Since its launch in 2004, our lives have moved more and more into the virtual realm, and Cybersecurity Awareness Month is an opportunity for the cybersecurity community to educate others about how to stay safe online and the role cybersecurity plays in keeping them, their friends and family, and our nation and world safe and secure year-round. CISA and the National Cybersecurity Alliance lead Cybersecurity Awareness Month together each year, and work closely with our partners at all levels to help enhance our initiatives by engaging employees, customers, and communities. We're all dedicated to creating resources and communications for organizations to talk to their employees and customers about staying safe online. And it looks like many of you answered our poll. We have about 73% of you that have participated before, so welcome back to the campaign, and thank you for participating again, and welcome to the 28% of you who this is your first time. So I hope we can provide some new information to everybody on this call about Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So this year, we approached Cybersecurity Awareness Month with the following tone in mind, keeping these four phrases in mind: positive, approachable, simple, and back to basics. Our strategy is to communicate to the general public that practicing cybersecurity, even the basics, is simple to do and is actually really effective in combating cybercrime. We want to leave our audience feeling empowered that they can do something to keep themselves secure. Cybersecurity is a serious topic and can be a scary topic for many. But just because it's important, that doesn't mean we have to use fear when talking about it. We find that people are more receptive to positivity rather than negativity. We also want to be approachable and friendly in the way we talk about cybersecurity, so our advice doesn't sound too scary. We want people to stay safe online, not because we tell them so, but because they see the value in keeping themselves and their families safe online. Our aim is also to keep the messaging simple, so no jargon, trying to avoid the words or terms that only the experts know. And we're going back to basics. When it comes to the general population, many people still don't take the simple steps that are necessary to staying safe online. We are going to take a unique approach to Cybersecurity Awareness Month this year. There are no weekly themes as we've had in the past. Instead, we're going to focus on promoting behavior change through 4 basic tips, which we'll review in a moment. As mentioned, the campaign is a collaborative effort between government and industry to ensure everyone has the resources they need to stay safe and secure online. It's our goal to engage as many organizations and people as possible, but we understand that not all organizations are created the same, and each has its own unique needs. This year, our approach to Cybersecurity Awareness Month will allow the flexibility for organizations to choose the messaging that will resonate best with their culture of their organization. To assist with these efforts and to ensure maximum participation between public and private sectors, an innovative approach will be utilized for this year's campaign. This year, it truly does not matter the size or industry of your organization. There is a message that resonates with the respective audience to enable partners to focus on engaging and promoting our critical behavior messages leading up to and throughout October. Our goal is to engage organizations at every level with the theme, "It's easy to stay safe online." With the previous slide in mind, we want to show everyone how easy cybersecurity can be, because it's true. And while most of the cybersecurity news articles you read are about massive, scary data breaches and hackers, it can seem overwhelming and it can feel like you're powerless against it. Many people find cybersecurity frustrating or intimidating, but we want to dispel the idea and fight the misconception that cybersecurity is too hard for any one individual to do. It's easy to stay safe online is here to remind everyone that there are all types of ways to keep your data protected, to keep yourself safe, and it can make a huge difference just practicing the basics. And I'm going to turn it over to Trent again to talk about our other part of the campaign, CISA's theme, and how we're going to talk about our behavior-focused messages. These themes have supporting messages that are aligned between our two organizations and can be utilized by partners as applicable to your audiences. So I will turn it over to Trent to talk about See Yourself in Cyber.
Thanks, Jen. And as you all know, cybersecurity often seems like a large, sort of complex, convoluted subject, but really it's all about people, and it really begins with folks like you. You learned of NCA's theme and how it's aimed towards broader private sector, academia, and nonprofit audiences, and their theme was created to best resonate really with the needs of those audiences. Our theme this year, CISA's theme, is designed to be in parallel with NCA's, and it's really designed to focus around the individual. See yourself in cyber. Our main audience, of course, as usual, includes both critical infrastructure owners and operators and public sector partners, but we intend this theme broadly as an opportunity to engage, frankly, with anyone who's touched by the digital world today, which really includes all of us. We'll be focusing on the people part of cybersecurity in the critical infrastructure community, and of course across public sectors, providing information and resources to help all partners make smart decisions at the work, at home, at school, and in the future. And I have to apologize. I'm fighting a little respiratory cold. If you hear me coughing in the middle, it's just that I have this cold that I'm working through. Whether you're already working in cybersecurity, you're a vendor or supplier, you're an infrastructure owner, operator, a student, a job seeker, or just an individual who uses the internet for work, school, or entertainment, you are central to cybersecurity. You have the power to make simple choices that can easily minimize or prevent cyber criminals or hackers from getting into your devices and online systems or accounts. You might be the person needed to fill out one of 500,000 jobs that are emerging across the country in the growing field of cybersecurity. You might be the future of that field. On the next slide, I do want to explain more on how NCA and CISA have unified our messages across these themes and start to talk through some of the key messaging on slide 11. So throughout October, CISA and NCA are highlighting different ways individuals and organizations can improve their cybersecurity efforts, whether at home, work, or school, through the following key actions and/or behaviors. We start with cybersecurity, starting with you. So how? By reminding your audiences that cybersecurity is your organization's top priority and their collective responsibility. And there are simple things, simple actions that we can all take to help protect ourselves, to help protect our families, to help protect the organizations that we work for. That includes updating your software. This simple action is one of the key ways to help prevent malware attacks that can ultimately invade across an organization's network and even beyond. We also encourage folks to enable multi-factor authentication. CISA recently released the Stronger Than a Password campaign, which encourages people and organizations to implement MFA and create extra barriers against threat actors. We also want to use trusted password management and strong passwords. This is still a tried and true message, but it's vital to help personally protect your personally identified information and frankly, to help protect your networks. And finally, we want to continue to encourage folks to learn to recognize and effectively report phishing attacks. Continuing last year's successful anti-phishing message, help your stakeholders understand how to spot phishing and importantly, how to report it so they don't become victims of cyber crimes themselves. Next slide for me. So, messaging. Now that we've had a chance to review the themes and key messages, let's talk about how we'd recommend you leverage those messages. Both NCA and CISA encourage you to consider the message best for your audiences. You know them best, so tailor this information specifically. For example, you can tailor messaging for unique audiences. With individuals, you can focus on "you are the key" message. With vendors and suppliers, you might select something more akin to protect your reputation and your product lines. For critical infrastructure owners and operators, it may be more appropriate to think of a message along the lines of "you are part of something bigger" that helps frame how they are part of the larger cyber ecosystem. Returning this year, the third week of October is Cybersecurity Career Awareness Week, and you could use that as an opportunity to focus on a message around exploring careers in cybersecurity with current and future cyber workforce audiences. And lastly, with consumers and the public at large, we want to focus on a message that's oriented towards "it's easy to stay safe online," NCA's overarching theme. Slide 13 for me. If there's one thing I hope you take away from today's conversation, in addition to the resources laid out, is that CISA and NCA are in this together with you. Both organizations jointly lead Cybersecurity Awareness Month each October. This is a great demonstration of the public and private sectors working together to help provide every individual, business, and community with resources they need to stay safe and secure online. But we don't think, and we frankly don't expect, that we will be able to do this alone. We have to work together towards that end. Now, I'll pass over to Jen to help you further understand how you can create your own Cybersecurity Awareness Month campaigns. Jen?
I'm on mute. Thank you, Trent. I'm going to dive in a little bit more to those key actions we talked about and just what you can expect to see from CISA and NCA leading up to October and during October, since we will be very focused on these behaviors. We'll have web pages, tip sheets, and infographics available on each behavior that you can use in your own campaign. We invite each of you to help us push out these messages and help us show others how easy it is to stay safe online and how effective these behaviors are. But of course, we also encourage you to focus on whatever is most relevant to you and your organization. So if that's not multi-factor authentication, we still invite you to incorporate your focus areas into Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Maybe it's not password managers, maybe you're more concerned with something else. I think there's room for all of that in this campaign. On the next few slides, I've highlighted just a few topics our materials will cover, each one starting at a basic level of here, for example, what is MFA? Why is it important? Why should the audience care or pay attention? How does it work? Specifically, how do you install it? What does it look like? Which will explore different types of multi-factor authentication, including using biometrics, what it looks like when you use a code or an authenticator app. And lastly, we'll also talk about what types of accounts offer MFA, which are many, but it's best in our messaging and in messaging in general to be as specific as possible. We recommend if there's an application or an email service that your employees use often, it's great to give a step-by-step guide on how to set up multi-factor authentication on that platform, because sometimes it's confusing. It can be different on every platform. So it's best to make sure that our audiences have every bit of information they need and that it's as easy as possible for them to understand multi-factor authentication and install it. If people get confused, if there are any barriers to downloading multi-factor authentication, there's always a good chance that people might stop. So we want to help them out on every step of the process. For passwords, we'll review what makes a password strong, focusing on a few simple steps, making sure it's complex, the use of different characters, numbers, letters, spaces, the length of the password, making sure it's at least 12 characters, and its uniqueness, making sure it's not used on any other accounts. We'll also talk a bit about password managers, what they are and what are the benefits of using one, emphasizing that password managers can make life a lot easier actually by not having to remember all those unique passwords for every account. And the fact that they will suggest strong passwords for you can show people the benefits of using a password manager. We'll also dispel some of the myths around password managers and address the ideas that they may be unsafe or untrustworthy. But we also want to give people the tools they need to find the right password manager and do their research. We don't promote specific products, but we do want to put people on the right track so they are only downloading reputable products and products that are safe. We'll also talk about software updates where we'll cover, as Trent mentioned, why it's important to update right away, not click the remind me later button, and that it's even better to set up automatic updates. And lastly, talking about phishing, how to spot a phish or vish or smish, which again, just trying to avoid using jargon as well. Sometimes people aren't so familiar with what the term phishing is, so we'll likely also refer to it as, email scams or phone scams. We want to talk about how these scams are prevalent over, email, text, chat messages, phones, and what to do, how to spot the red flags that can often be found in all of these platforms. And we also want to make sure we're giving people an actionable step. So what do you do when you spot a phish? How do you report it? What do those steps look like, especially on major email platforms like Outlook or Gmail? And then, of course, deleting the scam. So again, we will not have weekly themes this year. We will focus on each of these 4 behaviors throughout the month of October. If you prefer having weekly themes, if that works well for you, you could always split up the content and assign one action to each week of the month, or again, choosing your own behaviors that you'd like to focus on. So NCA and CISA will have a number of resources to help you build your Cybersecurity Awareness Month campaign. I'll start by describing NCA's Champions program. So I'm sure since many of you have participated in Cybersecurity Awareness Month before, you may have already signed up to be a champion for this year, or maybe you signed up in the past. But for the 28% of you that are new to the campaign, I'll give you some backgrounds. The Champions program is a way to officially show your support for cybersecurity awareness education during October and align your organization's campaign with the month. Champions include individuals and organizations dedicated to promoting a safer, more secure, and more trusted internet. It's completely free and very easy to sign up for. We do ask former champions to register each year so we can send you new materials as they are updated for each year, and we include new ones as well. The Champions program is open to organizations and individuals from across the globe. In fact, last year we had registrants from, I believe, over 50 different countries and territories. So we see a lot of great global engagement, and everybody is welcome to sign up. The link to register as a champion is at the bottom of this slide, and we'll send it in our follow-up notes. When you register, you can sign up on behalf of an organization or as an individual. If you're registering on behalf of an organization, you can register yourself as an individual champion. Once you fill out our form, you'll receive your welcome email and toolkit right away. So if you don't see it, that day, be sure to check your spam or junk folders just in case. If you have any questions about your registration or your materials, you can email us at info@StaySafeOnline.org, and that email will be provided again at the end of the presentation. So all champions receive a toolkit of materials to guide and assist you in planning and executing a campaign. And most of these are special materials that are reserved exclusively for registered champions, which I'll review in a moment. Organizations that register will also have their company name listed on our website at StaySafeOnline.org. And champions are among the first to receive updates on Cybersecurity Awareness Month news, events, and additional materials as well. A huge shout out to the over 800 organizations and individuals that have already signed up as champions in the past few weeks. You can view all champion organizations on our website right now. If you signed up as a champion and have not received your toolkit yet, please send us an email and let us know. So looking a bit closer at the toolkit, this year's toolkit has a ton of materials for your campaign, one of which is a PDF guide to Cybersecurity Awareness Month 2022. It includes details on the messages that we just discussed, including facts and figures that support their importance as well. It also contains lots of great ideas for implementing your own activities and events in addition to the ones that we'll review in a moment. We have a spreadsheet as well of dozens of pre-drafted social media posts and accompanying graphics that you can use to fill up your social media calendar for the month of October. These posts and the other materials in the toolkit are completely customizable, so feel free to edit the posts, to add your own branding to the graphics, add your own logo. We'll also be posting about October and posting these graphics on our social media platforms leading up to October, and of course very heavily during the month. So we invite you to follow along with us or post at your own cadence. And stay tuned as we do plan to release even more graphics over the summer to our registered champions. Your toolkit contains a number of pre-drafted pieces of content. We have pre-written articles on 4 different topics, including cybersecurity at home, in the workplace, steps to stay safe online, and the anatomy of a data breach. You are welcome to post these to your blog, maybe your company intranet site and newsletter, wherever you like. We'll also have a drafted press release you can use to announce your champion status and promote your campaign, as well as a drafted email template to send to employees or your chosen audience during October as a way to talk about what your campaign is all about and share what you would like to educate your employees and audiences on. Different versions of the Cybersecurity Awareness Month logo are available in the toolkit. You do not need our permission to use them at all. We will also have a branded email signature and a different video conference backgrounds. And last but not least, we have infographics in the toolkit on multi-factor authentication, phishing, software updates, passwords, and ransomware. And stay tuned as we will also have video content related to these topics as well, which will be sent to all champions ahead of October. So that covers our champions resources, but I do want to cover one other resource that we're working on. So last year, NCA partnered with an organization called CyberSafe to launch the first report on cybersecurity attitudes and behaviors called OBehave for any Austin Powers fans out there. During Cybersecurity Awareness Month 22, we will release the second annual Cybersecurity Attitudes and Behaviors Report. So we will make this available as a resource as well to provide some insights on how the general public feels about cybersecurity. We poll 2,000 individuals 1,000 in the US and 1,000 in the UK, examining the cybersecurity attitudes and behaviors of the general public and shedding some light on, the human factor. This research applies scientific rigor and robust data analysis to help academics, practitioners, and policymakers around the world better understand people-related security issues as they relate to enhancing awareness, influencing security behavior, and improving security culture. So the results of the second iteration of this report will be available actually in late September of this year. We'll let you all know when the findings are out. 2021's report is available to download on our website and contains a wealth of findings that can be used in your resources this year to showcase the importance of cybersecurity education and certain cybersecurity practices. Just a few examples of our findings are on the slide here. For example, nearly half the people we surveyed say they've never heard of multi-factor authentication. But of those who knew about it, which was 52%, most of them had applied it to their online accounts. 81% of people who heard about it had already applied it to their accounts. 7% of people never or rarely use different passwords for their accounts. 31% of people keep track of their passwords by writing them down in a notebook, and 20% of respondents reported using other methods of password management strategies, like storing them on their email or phones. 31% of respondents say they either sometimes, rarely, or never install software updates. And 68% of participants reported installing the latest updates in software as soon as they're available. And of those who reported installing the latest updates on their devices, 45% had turned on automatic updates. So that's just a snapshot of some of our findings in this report. Again, you can find the entire report on our website, and we're excited to see the findings from 2022's report. We'll dive into some of these, the topics that we covered in this survey a bit more deeply. So now we're going to cover some additional ways that you can use NCA's and CISA's resources and how you can get involved by building activities of your own. An easy place to start is with online activities. So we encourage everyone to join the conversation on social media using the hashtags #BeCybersmart and/or hashtag Cybersecurity Awareness Month, depending on how much space there are in your tweets. Please note, we advise you not to use acronyms such as CSAM or CAM. These acronyms are already commonly associated with other advocacy campaigns. And again, we encourage you to use both these hashtags if space allows in your posts. We'll be monitoring these hashtags closely, so it's also a way for us to find your posts and retweet or share them. We want to amplify your activities and hard work. So again, please use these so we can find those posts. And if you're leading any public initiatives, we'd love to know, and we'd love to see that and promote that to our audiences as well. Don't forget to share the sample social media posts and graphics and the toolkit to your channels, or create your own with your own branding, which you can also add the Cybersecurity Awareness Month logo to. We love to see that. Even if you don't have time to create your own post or manage your own social media calendar, we hope you'll follow the National Cybersecurity Alliance and CISA on social media to see what we have going on, maybe retweet our posts to your followers. Aside from social media, consider adding the Cybersecurity Awareness Month logo to your website or your intranet site for the duration of October. Also, blogging about cybersecurity in October is a great activity. As mentioned, we've already done the heavy lifting for you by creating 4 sample articles. So you're welcome to use them. You're welcome to, pull information from there for your own article. However you'd like to use them is up to you. So many of us on the line are security practitioners and are likely the first people our families turn to about security. So don't forget to engage your kids, your parents, your spouses at home. We recommend holding a family tech talk, discuss how each member of the family can protect their devices and their personal information. It could be a good time to establish some rules and guidelines for your kids for how they act when on the internet and using technology. Maybe take the time to download a password manager for your family, set up automatic updates on your kids' devices, or have your kids do some research on the security and privacy of an internet connected device they might want. It's a great idea also to teach your loved ones how to spot a phish, give them the resources they need to address it, to report it, or just kind of open up that line of communication. So if they see something they're not so sure about, maybe they can come to you if they have questions. As cybersecurity professionals, it's important to remember that not everybody knows the cyber basics. The industry has been talking about phishing and MFA for a long time, but it takes a while for a message to reach the end user. As consumers, we have a lot of different things to think about. So this is more of an ask from our organization to you, but we highly encourage everyone to go out into their communities and talk about online safety. Volunteer at your kid's school or a senior center or a library or a place of worship. Maybe check in and see, is your kid's school doing anything about teaching students about online safety? If not, maybe send them some resources or offer to help talk to a class about tips to stay safe online. Sit down with others at a community center and show them how to, create a good password or install a password manager. Be available to your community as a cyber expert. People often want to stay safe online, but don't always know how to do that or even where to start. And at work, I think a big place to get involved for many of you will be at work. These activities are some of the most popular ones we've seen from our partner organizations in the years past. There are many more listed in our Champions Toolkit as well, but they include sending emails to your employees or customers with educational materials, or you can highlight your organization's activities. You can also use the employee email template in your toolkit to get started. We've seen companies issue a company promotion related to the month, such as a product discount, like a coupon or a giveaway. Don't forget to mention Cybersecurity Awareness Month in your resources and materials and include that logo and the hashtags. We see a lot of success with organizations that hold contests for employees or students. Schools will hold poster contests and video contests where students can share examples of how they stay safe online. It's also a great idea to find a few champions of your own within your organization or students in your school that are passionate about security and passionate about helping others. You don't have to spend a lot of money on these items either. Even, giveaways are always great, always get people excited. But even if you just, offer some free pizza to a group of employees or students to attend a training or a seminar, trust me, it'll go a long way. And with all of these examples, remember to keep that tone we talked about in the beginning in mind, positivity, simplicity, and back to basics. For some inspiration, here are just a few examples of activities we saw that our partners led in 2021. At the top row, you can see there were company issued newsletters that mentioned Cybersecurity Awareness Month or even just contained an article about cybersecurity. Companies created fun videos. We also had schools, you can see in the bottom row, that had students get involved by creating a bulletin board, creating videos, leading their own campaigns. Schools that printed Cybersecurity Awareness Month messaging on their giveaways at sporting events even. So there's a big variety of ways to get involved in the month and educate people and engage them in fun activities. It's really, up to you how you choose to do that. I'll turn it back over to Trent to share how CISA recommends partners can build a successful campaign.
Hey, thanks, Jen. And just to build on the conversation, I think that Jen was leading there. One of the first things we strongly encourage you to think about as you're looking at building your own Cyber Awareness Month campaign, even before planning your campaign, is really to focus on training your staff. We recommend that you create a presentation for your staff and involve your IT group in the process. A couple of things you might want to consider as you're working to train your staff. It's really helpful to articulate for them what's in it for me. Why is cybersecurity important for all employees? And what's in it for them as active participants in the campaign? It's also really important that your staff understand the basics of cybersecurity, that they can share the information concisely, like using cyber snacks to promote action. And the best news is that you don't have to do all of this alone. If you'd like to have some help with tailoring your presentation and or training, please send us an email at cyberawareness@cisa.dhs.gov by August 1st, and we'll schedule a consultant who can support you in developing some of these materials. You can also coordinate with other offices and peers to provide training, and you may have to tailor your presentation as you're working across your organization. But of course, the more employees you can reach, the better off your organization will be. Frankly, the better off we all will be in that process. And we, of course, suggest following up with employees regularly to make sure that they're actually implementing what you've been teaching, especially the 4 educational topics that we've talked about during this month's campaign effort, and that will be discussed throughout the month of October. So with that, Jen, back to you. I know we wanted to talk a little bit more about hosting events.
Yep, so events and trainings are great ways to engage others in cybersecurity education. We see a ton of organizations host events for the public or trainings for employees during or leading up to October. If you're thinking of hosting your own event, there are a few items we suggest you keep in mind. Start by, as Trent mentioned, identify your audience. Think about the behavior you want to change or influence. Do you want to talk to a specific department or a specific level of management? What are you trying to achieve, and what do you want your audience to take away from your presentation? Maybe you really want employees to install the company issued VPN. Make that the focus of your presentation instead of trying to cover everything. Align your event with what is most important to your organization, but don't be afraid to get creative. If you create a positive environment that welcomes interactions and leaves time for questions, you'll see a lot of engaged listeners. Consider engaging your audience with, a live poll or trivia questions, give out prizes, or, offer pizza, as I mentioned, to participants. Maybe you can give out a small prize for someone that asks a question or performs well on a quiz. It doesn't have to be too expensive, but even just giving out, something small, or, coupon for a coffee can create a fun and engaging event. Again, they don't need to be very expensive for people to get excited over it. Try to make the presentation relatable for employees. Tie the topic into their home life or their family life or their specific department or role in their organization. And as Trent mentioned, remember, after the event, reach out to your attendees, thank them for coming, and include any slides, information, and resources that you covered during the event. It's also a good idea to show buy-in from leadership. If you can get your CISO or a senior level executive to participate in the event, it shows that your organization takes cybersecurity seriously. Or you can invite an outside speaker. Bringing in a new face and perspective is a great way to re-engage your employees, especially if they're usually, just used to hearing from the same person over and over again about cybersecurity. And I'll turn it back to Trent to talk about how to bring in an outside speaker from CISA.
Great, thanks. Well, as you can imagine, we have a number of subject matter experts who can speak at your Cybersecurity Awareness Month event at no cost. If you're interested in having a participant for CISA supporting you, please just visit us at cisa.gov/request CISA speaker to put your request into us. We do ask that you please submit your request to us by Friday, August 26th of 2022 to allow us enough time to process all speaker requests and ensure we have an appropriate speaker for your event during the month of October. So Jen, how should partners request an NCA speaker?
So partners can request an NCA speaker by going to our website. Just fill out the form through the link you see on the screen, or you can email us again at info@StaySafeOnline.org. We're happy to talk to your employees or customers about, it could be the cybersecurity basics, Cybersecurity Awareness Month in general. And we're also going to present on the new findings from 2022's Cybersecurity Attitudes and Behaviors report. So feel free to reach out to us, let us know the details of your event, what kind of topics you're interested in, so we can work together leading up to October. And with events in mind, keep an eye out for more information on these Cybersecurity Awareness Month events that you see on the screen. On October 6th, we'll host a virtual event to kick off the campaign, and we're excited to be joined by elected representatives from the US government to talk about the importance of cybersecurity and the work that's being done at the federal level and on the Hill. We'll also host a Twitter chat from our Twitter page at StaySafeOnline on October 12th. This is a great way to get involved, and we use this Twitter chat as a way to reach the general public. If you've never participated in one of our chats before, NCA will draft some questions ahead of time. We'll share them with any partners that sign up to participate. And on October 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern, we'll all come together on Twitter. We'll post the questions and give participants a chance to answer them and share their resources. And also, to wrap up the month, we're hosting a virtual afterglow party. We know Cybersecurity Awareness Month can be a crazy busy time for many of us. So this party is a chance on November 2nd to celebrate all of your hard work with the security awareness community. You can share your successes, your best practices, and also network. And it's a chance to play some games and trivia and win some fun prizes from NCA. So stay tuned for more details on all of these events by checking the events calendar on our website. And if you're registered as a champion, we'll also send you more details through email when registration for these events becomes available. Also, we would love to know what events you have going on. If you're hosting an educational event that's open to the public, we can add that to our website's calendar of community events going on for Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Just send us the event details, link to register, any graphics, we'd be happy to post it to our community calendar. And again, that contact information will be given in a moment. But to close us out today on available resources, I'll turn it back over to Trent to share CISA's additional resources.
Thanks, Jen. Well, in keeping with the discussion today, CISA also offers a wide variety of resources to help make your Cyber Awareness Month a real success. The Cybersecurity Awareness Month webpage for CISA will soon be live, and it will include a partner toolkit or campaign in a box for you to more easily plan your Cybersecurity Awareness Month outreach within your organization and with your target audiences. This toolkit will include sample emails, blog posts, social media posts, graphics, and of course, a partner presentation that you can use and tailor as you need to. In addition, as mentioned earlier, we recently launched, along with our federal partners, the More Than a Password campaign. Now, this campaign aims to encourage widespread awareness and understanding of the benefits of multi-factor authentication, to ensure that everyone knows the simple steps they can take to keep themselves safe online, and to urge technology companies to make MFA available as a default option within their offerings. Last year, CISA and its partners also created the StopRansomware.gov campaign site, which aims to raise awareness and combat the ongoing and evolving threat of ransomware. This campaign offers recorded webinars, guides, cyber alerts, and tip sheets for both technical and non-technical people like myself to learn how to prevent, respond to, and recover from ransomware attacks. Of course, we also offer the Cyber Essentials, which are a guide for leaders of small businesses or small and local government agencies to develop actionable understanding of where to start implementing organizational cybersecurity best practices. Check out the Cyber Essentials Toolkit. It's a set of modules designed to break down the CISA Cyber Essentials into bite-sized actions for both IT and C-suite leadership to work toward full implementation of each of the Essentials lessons. And finally, CISA's telework guidance and resource site is a one-stop shop for CISA resources to help organizations and teleworkers be more secure as we continue to evolve the workforce into our new hybrid work environments. And in case you missed it earlier, CISA does offer subject matter experts who can speak at your Cyber Awareness Month events at no cost. If you're interested, please just send us a little email on or before Friday, August 26th, and we will make sure to line up an appropriate speaker for your event. All of these resources can be found on the CISA Cybersecurity Awareness Month page. So we're looking forward to continuing to share those resources with you. Jen, back to you.
Great. And before we get to the Q&A, we'll also just share a few additional resources on NCA's side to help you and your initiatives. So all of our resources for Cybersecurity Awareness Month and the information we mentioned, as well as the signups for the Champions program to receive even more resources, that can all be found at the first link on your screen, StaySafeOnline.org/cybersecurity-awareness-month. We also encourage you to check out our website in general, which includes tons of pages on cybersecurity and data privacy topics, such as online shopping tips, cyber safe travel tips, and expert advice for small and medium-sized businesses. We also encourage you to check out our YouTube channel. A recording of every webinar we've ever done is on our channel, and we have interviews with cybersecurity and privacy experts on various topics. So feel free to check them out. If there's any that you're interested in, sharing at a training or sending to employees, we're also happy to provide downloadable versions if you'd like them. I'd also like to highlight a series of security awareness videos that can be found on our channel from our partners at Adobe. These fun videos address several cybersecurity topics, including phishing and physical device security. There are 8 episodes in total, and they're just a great resource to have if you're looking to share videos with your employees or your audiences in your training. So to wrap up, I wanted to share just some next steps for you all on the call. We gave a lot of information, but here's just, few things we ask you to do. One is sign up to become a champion to receive your toolkit and the resources that we discussed today, and to see even more ways to get involved. Please follow us on social media at StaySafeOnline and CISA on @CISA.gov. Those are our Twitter handles. It's a great way to stay up to date on Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And also remember to stay in touch. We'd also love to hear about your plans for October. So please stay in touch and reach out if you'd like to learn more about how NCA can help support you and your activities, or how you can get involved in NCA's events and activities. And here,
I think this one's me. So for more resources, information from CISA, of course, and the materials that we talked about, please just visit us at CISA.gov/Cybersecurity Awareness Month. To stay up to date on CISA's cybersecurity efforts, please follow us at CISA.gov on Twitter, as CISA on Facebook, and as CISA.gov on LinkedIn. And if you have any questions or would like more information, please email us at cyberawareness@cisa.dhs.gov. Thank you again, Jen and the National Cybersecurity Alliance, for joining with us and partnering again this year to co-lead the Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Your support to help us educate the American public and our critical infrastructure owners and operators on how they can be more safe and secure online has been integral and has helped make this campaign the success it has been the last 18 years. And now, again, going into its 19th year, we're excited for continued success. So thank you again for this partnership.
Yeah, thank you so much, Trent, and thank you for joining us on this call and sharing all of CISA's great work and resources. So the information covered on today's webinar can all be found on our website, StaySafeOnline.org. Again, we also have our events calendar on there, so you can see all the community events planned for October. If you have questions at any time, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Our email is info@StaySafeOnline.org. Our social media handles are here for Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn, where we will be posting on all three frequently leading up to and during October. And again, a recording of this webinar and the slides will be available on our website too, and we will also send it out in an email to all registrants. And now we'll open up the remaining time to questions. I see we already got a number of questions. If you have not done so already, please submit your questions to the Q&A box and we'll see what we've had come in so far. I see we do have a question about translated materials. I'll turn that over to Trent. Actually, I do believe CISA will have some translated materials. Trent, can you speak any more to that?
Oh, no, I cannot. Yeah, we are working right now on ensuring that we have appropriately translated materials available, and we'll be partnering again with the Department of State to make some of those materials available again this year. We're pretty excited. Last year we had participants from about 50 countries represented in the exchange of materials for Cybersecurity Awareness Month. We hope to grow that footprint, and as many of you I'm sure know, cyber awareness was included in the recent administration agreement under the Indo-Pac Alliance, and then we anticipate partnering further with those Indo-Pac countries on making cyber awareness a focus even beyond the October events.
Great, thank you. Let's see, we have a question. Any thoughts on recommended methods to measure the effectiveness of Cybersecurity Awareness Month, the effectiveness of content and engagement? It's a good question. I think maybe depending on the size of your organization, your employees, don't be afraid to reach out to people directly after October. Is a great time to just kind of recap everything you talked about, share some resources that people should keep in mind year round. We don't want to just stop all the education because October is over, but maybe consider including a survey or a poll, in that follow-up or after events. Ask people directly, what did they think? Did they have any takeaways, or maybe even specifically ask, like, what actions did you perform? Did you download a password manager? Did you spot a fish recently. I think, reaching out directly to people can be a great way to measure effectiveness, and also just, seeing, social media metrics as well. How are people engaging with the content? Are they sharing it? Is it resonating with them? Can all be good ways to measure, just what your audiences are paying attention to. Let's see. Just a reminder that when you sign up to become a champion on our website, the toolkit will be sent automatically to you by email. So if you do not see it within the same day as signing up, please be sure to check your spam folder. And if you still don't see it after that, send us an email. Let's see if we have any more questions. We have one, any fun activities for the hybrid environment, or how do we engage employees that doesn't involve a contest or a giveaway? So for the hybrid environment, if maybe you're doing a training or a webinar, I think a lot of the same rules apply, just kind of keeping the topics positive, engaging, making them relatable, instead of, just, giving death by PowerPoint and lots of slides. Make sure you ask people questions, you have them answer questions. If you are looking to, have some fun activities, there are a lot of different, platforms out there where you can do virtual polling, virtual trivia, virtual games that you can bring into a webinar platform. But I think just, kind of having engagement, letting people ask questions or specific questions about their security habits can be great for a hybrid environment.
And on the hybrid environment in particular, just want to encourage folks to visit some of our resources on our telework page. But this is really the opportune moment to highlight the "what's in it for me" message in terms of cyber awareness. Many organizations have begun to transition into hybrid or fully remote environments, and many employees recognize the obvious benefits of not, sitting in traffic, not commuting, and having the flexibility that they offer. But with that flexibility comes added responsibility for ensuring that employees are taking the steps to protect not only themselves, but their organization's abilities and capabilities to provide that virtual work setting. And so really, I think that is in particular, a workforce that is ripe for the message, "What's in it for me?" These abilities are what's in it for you. So we have to work together to protect them.
Great. Are there any other questions? Let's see. So there's a question here. There's a lot of movement on moving away from passwords and using passwordless verification methods. Will CISA and NCA look into or advise on the new methods? Yet we do recognize that the future is moving towards passwordless, and we do expect to have content, blog posts from our partners, perhaps some content at our events that talk about that passwordless feature. On NCA side, we do recognize, though, that this passwordless is not the reality for most people. If you think about your parents, your grandparents, your kids, chances are they're still using passwords in many, many places. So until we become completely passwordless, we'll still talk about, proper password hygiene and password management. Trent, does CISA have any resources on passwordless verification methods?
Let me take that one back and get you that. I feel confident in saying we do, but what I'm less confident of is ensuring that it's appropriately tailored for a broad audience and not overly technical in its orientation. So that's a good takeaway. That's something that we'll take back and circle back with that information on our Cyber Awareness Month website.
Great, thank you. We have a question. If you sign up for CISA or NCA to present, can you work with them to customize what is presented? Yes, on NCA's end, we'll work with you on, get to know what your audience is, what your goal is for the presentation. So it's not just us giving the same presentation every company that might not be relevant. We want to make sure that everything we do is relevant to what you're looking for. And I don't want to speak for Trent, but I do know on CISA's end, they will work with you to try to find the appropriate speaker for your event, the appropriate subject matter expert as well.
That is correct. And sorry, I have multiple devices running and someone chatted me in a completely different screen and I was talking, but yes, you're absolutely right. If you reach out to us, we will work with you to ensure we have the right speaker for your event. Just ask if you could reach out to us before Friday, August 26th. That will give us plenty of opportunity to align up a speaker for your event.
Thank you. And we are out of time. It's 3 o'clock. I do see there are some other questions, but please send them over via email. We'll try to follow up afterwards and answer as many as we can. Again, please expect to see the recording of this webinar and the slides in your inboxes shortly. And thank you all so much for joining. Have a great rest of your day.